Servus and hello there, my name is Andrew, I'm from the Shieldery and I love medieval shields. So thanks for checking out this video because we're gonna build an awesome extraordinary type of Pavise, the so-called wedge Pavise, because as you can see it has, well, a big wedge in the middle. This piece is from 1480 from southern Germany and measures 88 times 40 times 14 centimeters. So we got a lot of depth and I had to correct that on my printout because otherwise we would have like double depth and problems. Let's start by choosing our wood. We're gonna use those awesome spruce wood planks. They measure 4 times 27 centimeters. Let's transfer the shape and cut it out. Let's take care that we don't have a wood hole at the edge, because that could break out pretty easily. But it will be difficult with this piece because it has the knot hole right in the middle. Okay, maybe like that. Yeah, then we spare those 3 too. L for left. As you can see, this side deformed a bit, so I think it's better to just copy that twice, at least for the shape. I nearly forgot to turn it around. We want the direction of the natural bending because of the drying process to go in the same direction on both sides. Now we gotta connect them on the correct angle. I calculated 55 degrees per side. Let's hope that everything goes according to the plan. Let me just check that the power cord and everything is long enough. Yeah. Oh, I cut off too much. How could this happen to me? It also doesn't look that straight. I'll have to change something back here. That's when you have to keep like 5 different things in your mind. It's always when you think, this won't be so difficult. And then you don't pay attention and fuck it up. What if I just glue it on? With authentic glue, of course, and then do the cut again. Let's see whether the measurements fit. At least halfway. 40 centimeters broad. Huh, yeah, well, nearly. 2 centimeters are missing, of course, but otherwise... I have to glue that part back on and redo it. Why did I cut the shape out first? I could have avoided that mistake. I could have. It's not enough material to cut it out again. Okay, this angers me extremely now, but I think the best option is really to glue it back on with authentic glue, of course. Put some dowels in it and make the cut again. It's always the thing when everything is clear, when you thought of so many things and placed the camera in the position you would like it to have. And then this happens. Come on. At least not a few thousand people will see that. Okay, always check twice. At least the authentic glue is quite easy. It's cheese glue we're gonna use that consists out of casein, which I mixed 1 to 3, 1 to 2 with water. And now I'm gonna add 2/3 of the weight of the original casein in marsh lime. Then you get approximately 10 minutes to apply it, and it's water resistant, so I don't think that it will make a difference in the final result, at least. Now, in order to press it together properly and to keep it in place, we're gonna drill some screws through there now and revisit it in 2 days. Now you see how it gets pressed together. That's what we want. Yesterday didn't happen. The connection makes a good impression though. Let's not forget to remove the screws that held it in place. Yeah, that's okay. Finally. Dang. As you can probably see, it would be quite difficult to carve here on the inside. So that's what we'll do before assembling it. If you look at the picture closer, you can see that the cross-section changes over its length. We are quite pointy here at the tip and get flatter on the bottom. We want something like this at the top, which means we gotta subtract more here. But in general, I want to keep the edge quite thick because that's like the main breaking point. Now, before gluing it together, we can do all of that just with the electric planer. That looks quite good. I think if we'd remove more, then we can't glue the fabric in there properly. So this is enough. Now we'll have to remove a lot of the outside. I want to bring it down to like 1.4, 1.5 centimeters maximum. The electric planer is also a very good tool for that. Now I'm afraid if I leave it at the vacuum cleaner, I just have to empty the bag like 3 or 4 times for that, and it's already quite dusty in here. So I'm gonna keep continuing with a breath mask. Atemschutzmaske, as we say in Germany, and I think that's beautiful. It's time for a montage. Now that was a very short montage, but that's, you know, a good sign because everything went okay. And now we gotta remove this part up here, which we can't reach with the flat electric planer, so we're gonna use the edge grinder for that. But we will also need the mast here for gluing the 2 pieces together, so I'll wait until we glue them together to do that. For the gluing part we will use the casing glue again, which I described before, but this time I'm planning ahead. I want to do something before that, because after you set up the casing glue you only got like 10 minutes in which you have to apply that, and we will have to glue those together quite precisely. But as you can see here, we don't have a 90-degree angle, but some unholy 110 degrees. Because of that, I will use the screw trickery. Because it's so uneven and unsure, I think I'm gonna pre-drill some holes for the screws. With the board, I can keep it in place better. Yeah, now they are touching as good as I'd like it to have. Now let me keep that in place with another clamp, or like mark where it's supposed to be then. Now that fits. Luckily, I also got a long 8mm stick for the dowels in reserve, because otherwise it would be way too short here. Trying not to glue on my merch shirt in that time, because if you got that on your clothes, you will never get it out. It's so water resistant and hard. I'll also add a bit more in yesterday's mistake, and maybe in that knot hole here. That also looks kind of suspicious. It's also a good thing if we got a bit for the dowels left. Let's add the screws now, but with big washers to make sure that they don't like drag themselves into the wood. Now the wood will probably splinter a lot when I drill it with the 8mm drill, but as I said, we will sand those parts away where we exit now, so that's okay. I think I'll also add some straight one in both directions. That makes sense, doesn't it? Look at that. See you in 2 days. I gotta admit, at the moment it doesn't look very good, but after we finish the carving job, it'll be very good. So let's do that now. Now the glue we're going to use to connect the fabric and the wooden core is so-called hide glue. It's a gluten temperature glue, which means we can't work with it on room temperature and have to heat it up to 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. If it should get warmer than 60 degrees Celsius though, the molecules would break down and it wouldn't glue anymore. So we gotta heat it up very carefully in a water bath and keep a close eye on the temperature. I won't attach the fabric after the first layer though, because we want to give the wood some time to soak in the glue correctly. This also helps to fill in some of the holes, dents or other mistakes we maybe made before. It also looks pretty awesome. It's not as dry as I would prefer it. It's still a bit tappy, but we gotta continue because it's quite late and I want to make a seamless transition between the fabric on the front and the back side, which will also take some more cooling time. Let's attach the fabric now. Okay, I just applied a bit of water on the fabric because it usually shrinks when it gets wet. And in order to avoid that, while we are gluing it in place, we want to wetten it beforehand so it won't happen when we don't need it. Now I'm gonna flip it and start from the top to the bottom, applying the glue. I hope I made enough glue. It doesn't look like that much. And usually the fabric drinks up the glue like hell. We nearly got no glue anymore. I gotta set up one quickly. Let's keep that warm now. And then hopefully in like 10-15 minutes we can continue. Now that the base coat on the back has dried, we can start to attach the fittings. And look how beautiful they are. They again have been done by Einas Schmiede. Thank you. Now let's see where they belong. We'll have to pre-drill that, but that's not a big problem here. Those are handmade and not that even, so make sure that you remember where which was. How are we gonna flip that? It only sticks out like a millimeter. On the original you can see that it has been put out to the side, but I think when we hit it like that, we'll just press it out again. So we'll have to do it that way now. Similar on the other side. Let's apply 2 more layers of our fantastic base coat on the front now, and then we can start to paint. By the way, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it so far. The YouTube recommendation system is also getting weirder and weirder, and I'm not the kind of channel who publishes like 3 videos a month, so if you don't want to miss that, consider subscribing and clicking the bell button.